Almaty Tech Garden recently held its third demo day. This event is part of the accelerating program of the ACF PIT Fund, where startups presented their projects to mentors. Representatives of national and foreign companies, private investors, and business angels also. In total, 15 teams took part in the event. These are completely new projects that have not even formed into a legal entity. This is the initial phase where we tell them how the technical components or the directions they work on, so it's practically we are delivering business basics. Alimjan Kinisbekov studies in the Nazarbayev Intellectual School of Almaty on a chemical-biological direction. The guy with like-minded people came up with the smart glove, Kivita. In the scientific environment, this invention is called a device for rapid diagnosis of human diseases, which works by the FOL method. We use the method of FOL and calculate the energy of potentials at each biologically active point. For example, if the rate is 510, then if you have 512, it is this difference that determines the diagnosis itself. Once the potential difference is determined, the glove will send the data to the smartphone using the microcontroller Arduino. Then it receives information, processes, and displays. While the device can diagnose only 5 diseases. Among them, bronchitis, gastritis, increased, decreased, intracranial, and blood pressure. In general, the diagnostic devices, as you saw, are huge, and they are also very expensive for $1,000 or more. But we made them lighter and cheaper. The cost price is about $98 and selling price is $300. The Iris project is another contestant of Demo Day Tech Garden. The mobile application, according to the founders of the service, works as a personal assistant to achieve personal goals and objectives. Our advantage of service is that our product is like a symbiosis of Task Manager and IPMAP. It means we connect the functional of these two products and create something unique that will help a productive degree. The program is a graphical interface where the user creates a goal, breaks it into subtasks, and monitors their execution. Today, only the alpha version of the product is available because the application is under development. In the future, we will add supplements to these circles for adding users, connecting the front to the back end to make the product in offline mode too, and certain technologies are used for this. Within a few months, the development of Quivita and Iris will be monitored by venture funds. And if investors make a choice in favor of these projects, they will automatically become part of the Startup Kazakhstan program. This is a higher level of acceleration. It includes profile training for startup entrepreneurs with the opportunity to travel to the Flint Valley of the United States. Mail.ru Group invested in a mobile social network, Verb, developed by employees of the holding company, which operates on the basis of the iOS systems and Android. The resource allows you to write simple sentences, statuses. For example, pause the exam, I watched a movie, I read a book, I cooked dinner, and more. These statuses can be supplemented with photography and geotagging. Each user receives badges for activity and can top the rating. Creators hope to monetize social network through advertising. The rate of Bitcoin for the first time exceeded $3,000 and continues to grow. A new impulse for currency growth was the decision of several large Chinese cryptocurrency exchanges that last week allowed customers to resume the removal of the Bitcoins after a 4th-month ban due to the actions of the People's Bank of China. In the first quarter of this year, Bitcoin added almost 200% and outperformed the stock market indicators such as the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. Let's introduce Ruslan as the owner of a successful restaurant chain. Today's business works like a clock. However, more recently, Ruslan suffered serious losses due to frequent and illegal inspections by various services. As you already guessed, Ruslan is a collective image of domestic entrepreneurs. It was invented by the General Prosecutor's Office of the Republic of Kazakhstan in order to show the solution of the problem of the whole SMB on the example of one person. And for this, the supervisor proposes to install a free mobile application, Comcore. The entrepreneur will know about all the agencies, regardless of which agency came to him for verification. All inspections that will be registered in the agencies of legal statistics of the Prosecutor General's office, they will be contained in this application. The word Comcor from the Kazakh language is translated as caring. It means the name of the project says that now the Kazakh business will be taken care of in digital format also. In fact, it looks like this. The user needs to download and register in the application. After that, he will receive push notifications with useful information on his phone. For example, which agency will come with the check, when and why. In addition, the user will know the name, surname, and position of the examiner.
Когда проверяющий приходит к вам, что проверить ваш бизнес, допустим, да?
When the inspectors come to you to check your business, they will always give you the number. By this number, you will check this check is registered or not. If it came just like that, there will be written that this check is not registered. At this point, you can click on the complain button and write your text what exactly he broke.
И написать ваш текст, что именно он нарушил.
For the convenience of entrepreneurs, the service of tracking of acts and electronic data works around the clock, 7 days a week. And if an illegal check is found, the progress of this case will be given immediately.
A
businessman in Almaty asked us that they came to him with a check and demand money, introducing themselves on behalf of the Akimat and the fire service. He wrote an appeal to us in this application. After that, our employees left, checked, and found out that these people turned out to be scammers. A criminal case has been instituted against them today. Today, the application is tested and works in full force. It was downloaded by over 6,000 entrepreneurs from all over Kazakhstan. 300 of them have already used the services of the service and wrote official appeals to the prosecutor's office. In the application, there is a list of all the questions frequently asked. You can click on all the questions button and find the question you're interested in and read the answer to it. If you do not find it, then there is a button below. Ask a question to our employees. According to the Prosecutor General's Office of the Republic of Kazakhstan, during the last 6 years, the number of registered inspections decreased 3.5 times. If in 2010 there were 350,000 registered, in 2016 this index dropped to 100,000. And such a trend will continue if the Business Protection Service is used by as many domestic entrepreneurs as possible. Drones. These unmanned aerial vehicles today perform many useful functions, deliver cargo, monitor weather conditions, fight weeds and insects and pests. One of the latest know-how in the sphere of the application of the squares is drone racing.
Дрон рейсинг — это, можно сказать, Формула-1 в воздухе. Тоже стартует 4 пилота, но это в зависимости как.
Drone racing is the Formula 1 in the air. The start of one pilot starts, which flies through all obstacles, and at the finish it's determined who is faster. They can also knock each other off. Fly, it's also done for speed. If you do not fly over some obstacle or flew past it, then you must go back and make a second circle.
Как на камеру все записывается, если ты какое-то препятствие не облетел или пролетел мимо него, то тебе обязательно надо вернуться назад и сделать повторный круг.
There's no single set of rules for conducting competitions in this sport. Therefore, each association develops its own standards for pilots and their cars. For example, in Kazakhstan, before the race, the shape and size of the frame, screws, battery type, and much more are discussed. The rules and the basics of aerobatics are already taught today in the profile school created under the association.
Dragonfly Systems представляет собой школу, которая
Dragonfly Systems is a school that gives the younger generation an understanding of what physics is, its basics to use this knowledge in university and in the future life, because it develops like motor skills and knowledge of technology. Andrei Manko stood at the origins of this school. He's an experienced pilot and winner of the first Republican Championship on drone racing, which was held last year in Astana. Andrei prefers self-assembly designs than the standard multi-copters from stores. This is 210 classes quadrocopter. Fast enough, far from the top of the components at the moment. I drove in competitions on exactly the same apparatus. This is a good machine, fighting, and inexpensive.
Боевая, недорогая.
According to Andre, to squeeze the drone between trees or stones, it is necessary to feel the dimensions and inertia of the copter in order to correctly maneuver vertically and fit into a sharp turn.
Если ты занимаешься каким-то спортом, экшеном, то есть даже гонки на машинах, на мотоциклах, то есть любая какая-то такая.
Drone sends the picture to the glasses instantly. Practically there is no delay, so everything is in your fingers. Then how fast you react to the changes before your eyes all depends on this fact.
Там задержки нету, то есть насколько ты быстро отреагируешь на изменения перед твоими глазами, от этого все и зависит.
Drone racing in Kazakhstan has great prospects. However, in order to avoid tragic cases, the activity of drones must be regulated at the legislative level. Thanks to this, fans of flying cars will know exactly at what height it is safe to fly, how not to create radio interference, and what to do in critical situations. However, this is another story. Startup Dictionary. Exit literally means exit. When one of the shareholders of the startup sell its stake to its partners or other interested parties. Typically, this term applies to investors. Example of use: if the exit takes place, then only after the IPO. Alexei Nazarov, General Director of the Payment System. Experience in e-commerce and banking software. Specialization: building business and IT infrastructure in the direction of B2B. Review of the startup. Oil. Oil is a mobile application for delivering gasoline.
Ну, допустим, у нас там страна, которая кое-что там о нефти и бензине слышала, какое-то представление имеет, поэтому заправок тоже очень много где есть. И помимо там в целом того,
Since we are an oil-producing country, we have heard something about oil and gasoline, and we have a lot of filling stations. And to be honest, I did not hear people rarely forget to refuel their cars. Well, suppose we live not in Kazakhstan, but in some other country, and let's assume that I'm too lazy to refuel my car, that I'm ready to send money through a mobile application to someone that I don't know in person. Then I open the gas tank and leave. And in my absence, this stranger will come and refuel my car. Of course, I would never do that for sure. Then in the morning, I come, I check the gas tank. It is closed. No one has torn off the lid, neither broke it nor scratched it. Additionally, most likely my car at the same time washed in the framework of this service. All this looks so utopian, isn't it?
Заодно помыли ее наверняка в рамках сервиса. Ну, на самом деле, немного утопично. Здесь проблема надумана. Это еще одна из проблем рынка. Здесь нет каких-то сложностей в плане, возможно, законодательных аспектов, есть сложность.
It is obvious that the problem is conceived in this project. That is, there will not be any problems with the legislation in its implementation. However, there are other questions to be concerned. Who needs it, and how to trust this service, if you have never heard of it? In addition, this project has a small market. Therefore, I do not see any prospects for it. By the way, similar services already exist. For example, on-site tire services or something like that. But in projects, it is always important to understand who are your competitors. And such competitors, for example, an on-site tire service that provides assistance on the road and adds new functions, charge the battery, start a car, deliver gasoline. And that's all. This application does not make sense. However, there is another extreme. You can spend a lot of energy and money, and as a result, it turns out that the project will not be in demand simply because any developed service can add such an option. Therefore, in my opinion, there are no future perspectives here.
То, что проект там, не будет востребован просто потому, что любой более или менее развитый подобный сервис добавил эту опцию. Поэтому здесь перспектив нет. Вот, на мой взгляд, я очень хочу, да, чтобы они здесь были, но я их не вижу.
Astana Expo 2017 is the main event of this year for Kazakhstan, and today the specialized exhibition is in full swing. Within the limits of the expositions, 115 countries of the world present the most advanced technologies in the field of green energy. Our correspondents strolled through international pavilions and made a selection of the most memorable eco-startups. In Almaty, the Management University launched its own business incubator. The university hopes that this site will not only be a place for official events, but also a center for the development of students, where they will be able to realize their boldest projects. Recently, the first startup contest was held in the walls of the new campus. The results of this championship and the report from the exhibition, Astana Expo 2017, you will see in our next program.